Hey friends, welcome to Monday Motivation. I'm so excited for this upcoming week. Today as we launch in, I am geeking out on the reality of God's overwhelming grace. And I pray that this strengthens and encourages your soul as well. This verse in 2 Timothy chapter 2 has been so encouraging to me. It says in verse 1, "You, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus." What an amazing statement. To be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus, to get overwhelmed by His grace, get overwhelmed by His incredible steadfast love. And when you're overwhelmed by that love, it changes everything. We become strong, and then we are catapulted into a life of victory. And so what is God's overwhelming grace? Like, how do we get saturated in that? Well, when we look throughout the Bible, we see a lot of different verses. We see Isaiah chapter 30, verse 18, where the Lord longs to be gracious to us, and He exalts Himself to show mercy to us. We see in Ephesians chapter 2 that we are saved by grace, and it is not of ourselves. It's a gift of God, not a result of works, that no man should boast. We see in Romans chapter 5, verse 2, that we stand in grace. So present tense, we are literally standing in grace, having been justified by faith. In 1 Peter 1:13, we're told to set our hope fully on the grace to be brought to us at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So we are saved by grace, we stand in grace, and we have grace to look forward to at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Incredible. We see in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, to come to the throne of grace that you might receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, the Apostle Paul is telling his story, and he says, "By the grace of God, I am what I am." So I don't need to beat myself up for my story and my past. By the grace of God, I am what I am. And His grace to me was not insufficient. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9, we see that God's grace is able to make all grace abound to us, that we may have all sufficiency in all things at all times, to abound in every good work. So all throughout the Bible, you're putting together this picture that God is saying, I long to be gracious to you. You've been saved by grace. You stand in grace. You have grace to look forward to at the revelation of Jesus Christ. I want you to come to the throne of grace, the authoritative dominion throne of grace. And your answer in your time of need is, I'm going to give you grace. There is grace in our weakness. There is grace for sufficiency. God longs to be gracious to us, and we can get saturated in that grace. And as we do, it doesn't lead us to a life of license and sinning and going crazy, disobeying God. No, it overwhelms us with thankfulness and encouragement and strength, and it leads us to a life of victory where we seek to love the Lord with all of our hearts and with all of our strength and all of our mind, everything that we have, because we're so overwhelmed by grace that it catapults us into a life of obedience and love for Him. So this week, friends, let's not get overwhelmed with our love for Jesus. Let's get overwhelmed by His love for us. And I can't wait to see what God does. Let's win the week, friends. Here we go.